What is the best example of kid logic you have ever seen? When I was really little, our preschool class grew beans in a window, and my little brain decided that all food must be grown from seeds. Long story short, my mom found about 15 chicken nuggets in her flower bed when she was planting tulips. My kid as a toddler invented the word "nexterday" because she knew yesterday and next, but not tomorrow. A friend's kid cut a big chunk out of his hair, then realized he'd get in trouble. So he carefully laid the hair on his head. It promptly fell off. Leaving the daycare center, a kid called back, "Bye-bye. Be safe. Watch out for polar bears." Quote, "We are not in polar bear territory. But polar bears live in the snow. So since it snowed earlier in the day, it was only logical that we were at elevated polar bear risk." My husband was working at a childcare center and his car was in the shop, so he needed a ride. When I arrived to pick him up, one of the children who was also getting picked up asked if I was his mom. Because that's who picks up people from daycare. Moms and dads. Makes perfect sense using kid logic. I was fly fishing a popular canoeing river when two middle school-aged kids came paddling down Ina. Rented canoe. They got turned 180 degrees in an eddy, and instead of trying to turn their whole canoe back around, they just turned around in their seats and started paddling downstream again. Most adults would try paddling back around, but this was by far the more efficient way to handle it. When I was 15, I used to babysit this lovely kid called Jack. He would very proudly tell people, "I'm 3. And hold up 3 fingers. One day, I asked him how old did he think I was. He gave this very careful consideration. 26. He said firmly. "Why do you think I'm 26? I replied, mildly offended. "Mummy looks after me and she's 26. You look after me too." Fair enough. I desperately wanted a kitten when I was younger. Every time we went to the grocery store, I'd try and sneak cat food into the shopping cart, thinking that if we got home and unpacked it, we'd have to go out and get a cat. My granddaughter said there are microbes on Mars. And she knows this because her teacher said microbes are everywhere. My niece said that Santa was fat because he was pregnant, and that he was going to give birth to gingerbread men. Closing their eyes makes them invisible. Maybe not best but recent. My coworker's kid lost a tooth yesterday, and the kid said he was going to wait until Sunday to put his tooth under the pillow so the tooth fairy can meet Santa lol. My husband and I used to have 2 cats. One cat's name was just Little Cat. My 3-year-old niece called our other cat Big Cat, because if there's a little cat, there has to be a big cat. And our other cat was pretty big, so I couldn't even correct her. My younger sister once said to my mother, "Mom, how old were you when Jesus was a child?" Quote, "My kid asked to go to the fish museum. She didn't know the word for aquarium, but I'd say she got the concept across pretty well. Now we don't refer to it as anything else." My sister has 2 children, ages 3 and 1. I had my first child in September, so my nephews now have a cousin. The 3-year-old insists that it is only his cousin, since he is the oldest and his younger brother will have to wait for the next one before he gets a cousin of his own. I used to wonder why the snow was on top of the mountains if they were closer to the sun. I thought cotton came from clouds, and the colorful cotton you would catch at sunset. When my oldest was 2, he was obsessed with peanut butter M&Ms. One day he was eating some and proudly declared that he knew where peanut butter came from. To get peanut butter, You simply crack open peanut butter M&Ms like an egg and scoop it out. Not me but a friend. Her dad was an alcoholic and would drink as long as he could find more alcohol. So, logically, the best way to get him to stop drinking was to empty the bottles. And the best way to do that? Drink them all with the determination of a 7-year-old who wants a sober parent.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.